It is a gorgeous day today in Portland, Oregon. I thought it would be a good time right now to talk about our experience with Daya, that she got sick, and as I'm getting ready, I thought it'd be a good idea to just do it while I'm getting ready. On Friday, the 11th, because her birthday was on the 12th of this month, Daya got a fever around 4 in the morning. I didn't think much of it. Like, at first I didn't know it was a fever. I thought she was just like waking up to eat, because it's not out of the norm for her not to wake up in the middle of the night. Since we co-sleep, I just like take out my boob and give her to eat, and then she just goes back to sleep. So I tried to do that, you know, and she was like turning away from me. I noticed she just wouldn't go back to sleep, so I grabbed some Tylenol and gave her. And that's when we also realized that Tylenol doesn't work as good for her as ibuprofen, because it was like still 6 in the morning and she was still being really fussy. So then I decided to give her ibuprofen, and that actually soothed her. Around 6:30 in the morning, she ended up going back to sleep. When we woke up, we went on with our day because she just seemed much better. She just seemed like every other morning, nothing new. And so we just went on with her day. I had an appointment that day. My mom stayed with her for like an hour or so. When I came back, she was getting kind of sleepy. It was around her bedtime, around 1 in the afternoon. And then she started feeling hot. Like, she started sleeping on my mom's chest and she was kind of hot. My mom was like, I think she's starting to get a fever again. And yeah, come to find out, my mom left. I went to go check her temp and it was around 102. I gave her some medicine and she took a nap, but not a really good one. And so then she ended up waking up. I was like making flowers for her birthday, like craft flowers, because her birthday was the next day on Saturday. And put her on the bouncer, bounced her, and she just looked really down. I just look really white right now. Like, I'm looking over here and I'm like tan, looking over there and I'm white, and I'm tanned because we tanned. Then around 6 in the afternoon, it was like 5:30. I went to go put her down for a nap again. We both passed out, and then it was like 6:30. My husband was getting home. He got home but didn't want to wake us up. When she woke up, she just looked sad again, and then her fever was going up again. Like, I guess her fever never really went away, and that kind of worried me. Then my husband was holding her, and all of a sudden she starts throwing up, like a lot, and she's never really thrown up. That's really a trigger for us to like, okay, let's go to the emergency room. I don't know why it didn't click to both of us to just go straight to the children's hospital. We ended up going to the closest, well, not the closest, but the one that we thought would have the less wait in the emergency room. And truthfully, the wait wasn't that long either, but we did spend a long time there. We were there from 7 in the afternoon till like midnight. They did all kinds of stuff to her. Like, it started off with a rectal temp, and that was just the beginning of everything. So because her temp was at 104 and she was vomiting, the doctor wanted to do everything possible to figure out what's the underlying issue here. They started off with, they checked her mouth and everything, and they didn't seem to find anything in her mouth. But again, she wasn't really cooperating, so that was kind of hard. They did a chest exam. They did a chest x-ray to see if there's any pneumonia or anything going on like that. But since all that was fine, then, oh yeah, they COVID tested her. That was like one of the first things. She was negative. The COVID test wasn't like the horrible one that goes like up to your brain. It did, like, they did that and then she whined and then she pulled it out, and I thought she was going to be like, oh, we need to go again. But no, they just did it that time and she was good. So because everything was negative, everything was fine, they moved on to a UTI. So they had to put a catheter in her, and that was just like horrible and really torturous. Then they tried to draw some blood from her and failed to do so. When they attempted to draw the blood, the doctor came in and said that he noticed like 2 bacteria in her urine. So that's probably enough to be able to give her antibiotics. So then they injected her on each leg at the same time, some antibiotics. Then that was basically it. It was a very horrible experience. The reason why I want to share with you guys the experience that Diaz went through is because I suffered so much seeing her suffer. It really was one of the worst experiences in my life. And I don't have very many, but I do have a few, and that is definitely one in the top. Also, I can only imagine that what she went through could be nothing compared to what some babies go through. So I just realized it was really difficult for me to do my makeup and talk at the same time. So I decided just finish my makeup really quick and get back to the story. So I want to start off by saying that the reason why I'm sharing this story, or the experience that we experienced with Daya, or the experience that we lived with Daya being sick, is because I realized that Daya suffered a lot, and I suffered so much seeing her suffer, as well as my husband, but he's more good at controlling his emotions. I express what I feel. And when I think about what she went through and the pain she was experiencing, it breaks my heart. It really does. It's really, really sad. And I don't wish that for any parent and for any baby. I had to do my research. I had to do it. I kind of had to do this on my own in regards to medical professions and all that. Like, they help, but they don't know everything. And seeing my baby suffering, I knew there had to be something more. All right, so in continuation, because obviously my makeup was very distracting and I would lose my train of thought. I was saying that when we took her to the ER, they ran all kinds of tests on her. And at the end, the doctor concluded that she had a UTI. We left the hospital with her receiving injection in each leg from the antibiotic. Also, we left with some medicine, the antibiotic, and a script to get more medicine later. So honestly, when we left that hospital, I just did not feel comfortable. Like, something was not right. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just did not feel like something was right. They said that she should start feeling better Sunday afternoon. This was Friday night. Then Saturday came along and she still wasn't herself, obviously. It was her birthday. We had to cancel all the plans because she just didn't look good. Like, she was still breaking a fever. Later that afternoon, she started kind of with diarrhea. We were giving her antibiotics, so she received antibiotics Friday at the hospital, all of Saturday, and early morning Sunday. Coming early morning Sunday, baby girl did not look good and was not eating anymore. Last time she ate was around 11 at night, and it was early in the morning. It looked like she really wanted to eat, but every time I'd offer it to her, she would turn her face. So on Sunday morning, she didn't want to eat anymore, and that was really concerning. So I call my mom and I tell her everything that's going on, and she says to check the back of her mouth because she might be having something back there, and they didn't catch it. So we do, and yes, she had some like ampollas, some like bumps in the back of her tongue, and so we went right away to, this time, Randall's Children's Hospital. We went there, we got checked in and everything. They did check her mouth and did see that and said it was a virus. They checked the lab work from the ER on Friday night, and come to find out, girlfriend doesn't even have a UTI. Yeah, girlfriend doesn't even have a UTI, and that was really disappointing because Sunday is when diarrhea really kicked in, and that was really hard on her. She's developed really bad rash on her bottom, and I showed it to them, and they said, yeah, she has a viral infection, which she does not need antibiotics to clear it. It's just going to go by itself, and that's why she's throwing up. That was the reason why she had a high temp, and diarrhea probably is part of it. The diarrhea is probably from also the virus, but antibiotic definitely had made it worse. We go home on Sunday. The rest of the afternoon was the rest of the day was horrible. She had horrible rash due to some horrible, can't say horrible enough, diarrhea. Diarrhea was legit nonstop, guys. It was where it wasn't like a ton. Some episodes would be like a lot, and some of it would just be literally like if she'd fart, a little bit would come out. But I needed to clean her right away because, you know, she would burn. I remember we went to Costco after that because we needed to get some stuff like diapers, and I had to change her when we went in there, and I felt the need to explain myself to the moms that were in the bathroom when my daughter was crying, screaming in agony when I would have to wipe her. And it was the worst. Then I had to change her again before we left. And then we got to the car and I had to change her again. And it was like that, to the point where now we weren't even cleaning her anymore. We were just washing her on the sink or whatever, wash her bottom. And she would literally, she'd go, like she'd turn her body and she'd cry so bad. And it breaks my heart talking about it because, like, I remember, you know, what she went through, and it was hard. And that was Sunday afternoon. We went to my mother-in-law's and she helped me out. We went home and it kind of calmed down over the night. I still changed her like once or twice. I was not sleeping. I was on top of everything. I think it was that night that I didn't sleep. I stayed up and did my research and found 3 creams that were going to help her bottom. And that was really what I think really did help. Anywho, coming to wake up on Monday morning, my husband was going to go to work, but he saw what we were going through and decided not to and stayed with me, bless his heart. Mind you, all this, she's on Tylenol and ibuprofen every 3 to 6 hours. We were rotating Tylenol, like for an example, 12 and 6, and ibuprofen 3 and 9. So every 3 hours we were trying to stay on top of things to like make her mouth feel okay while she ate, and at the same time her bottom. Monday morning I had it. I broke down. I hit rock bottom. I gave up. I did not know what to do anymore. I would wash her and I'd lay her down and she'd go again. And I'd wash her and then she'd go again. And it wasn't like, oh, I wash her and go again, she was fine. No, she was miserable. And so was I. And so was my husband. I'd put cream on her bottom and nothing. She'd go again. So it's like she never catched a break. So when I saw it on Sunday, I had ordered on Amazon. My husband managed to get the cream that I needed. It said it was going to arrive on Wednesday and I needed it as soon as possible. And so he ordered it for Tuesday. I found the other one on Amazon and paid extra to get it delivered the same day, so it arrived later that day. But Monday morning, I'm grateful that Randall's Children's Hospital, a nurse called from there and just to ask how we were doing. And I told her and she heard Daya crying and she said, how long has she been crying like that uncontrollably? And I said, a long time. And she said, come back. So we went back. Baby girl was on IV and they said that her lips were starting to get dehydrated. They looked at her bottom. Her bottom was just raw. And they gave me a cream for her bottom, a really thick one to put on her. She was on IV for like over an hour. We went home that day. She rested. Oh, they also drew blood. We got all these tests and stuff. But the point of it all, she went home. We went home. She slept really well. And I think the IV really helped her body to recover so that it could fight this virus because she was starting to get dehydrated and was having a hard time fighting it. They did say the diarrhea was from also the virus, but the antibiotic did not help in making it any better. Sorry, that was a lot of talking. Why do I want to share this? So doctors help, but they don't know it all. And that's why it's called medical practice, because they're practicing. She gave me a cream that honestly, I think helped, but not enough. I ordered these creams on Amazon, so you can get them there too. And I highly recommend, guys, moms, get them. Get them, have them, because you just never know when you're gonna need them. I went to Walmart, Target, everywhere to look for them, and I could not find them. This one over here, I was able to find it at Target, but it did not have the AF, which is what is necessary, antifungal. This one over here I only found it on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it where it says Secura, where it says this name on there. But I found these creams from this YouTuber. She said that her twin babies were suffering with a rash, and she knew one of the nurses that helped one of her other, like her other son that had some wounds. So she's a wound nurse. She specializes in that. And she asked her, what do you know about the diaper rash? She's like, is there anything that you can recommend me? And she said, oh, I'm glad you asked. If I could find the video, I'll link it down below. She gave her specific instructions on what to do. Yeah, you could only do so much, like air out the baby's bottom, or lay them in a tub with baking soda, I think is what they said, and wash them and put zinc oxide, which is what I was doing. I asked one of my friend nurses, and two of them said the same thing, but that, I feel like zinc oxide only helps so much. I think these two, I realized they both have the same active ingredient on here. That is what I think really helped my daughter's bottom. If you guys know anything about medicine, is that there's a brand name, generic names. And with just medicine in general, for an example, Benadryl. Benadryl is a brand name, but there is the main name, which is like I'll put the name below because I still can't even say it. Same thing with like Tylenol. Tylenol is the brand name, but acetaminophen is the generic name. Yeah. It's the same thing with baby with creams and lotions and topicals and blah, 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 because it's topical. The active ingredient is what's important. So there's Parents' Choice. There's this like fancy, like the red cream that they put butt paste. There's so many baby products, and you know what? They all are the same thing. They just cost more because of the brand name. I always, when I buy medicine, when I buy topicals and stuff, I don't even go for the brand name, guys. I look at the back of it. If the active ingredient is the same, then I buy the cheaper one because it's the same exact thing. You're just paying for the brand. So this is what I have is Parents' Choice Zinc Oxide 40%. This one is the one the nurse gave me. And I've seen this one in nursing homes that I worked at. I honestly feel like it helped to avoid the poop touching my baby's bottom, but I don't think it would have helped like these ones that I ordered helped to heal her bottom. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I want you guys to know that there's more out there and your baby doesn't have to suffer as long. My baby started healing, I think by Monday afternoon, I want to say Tuesday. I started seeing her starting healing, and Wednesday, I think my husband was able to wash or clean her bottom and she wasn't suffering as much. So a few more things that I did that helped her bottom besides these creams and just washing her bottom instead of cleaning her with wipes and being on top of like pain medicine and breastfeeding her, because breastfeeding helps a ton, was I would wash the baby wipes because sometimes they have like some sort of something in them that is not just completely water, depending on which wipes you get. Washing them really helps, and just having them wet and kind of like wiping her like that. I also used coconut oil. Coconut oil helps a lot with soothing her skin. So before I had these creams, I used coconut oil to help like soothe her skin. So a day I woke up. But what I was saying is that another thing that I did was I would do this like before I got the creams in the mail that I needed, and I was just doing the zinc oxide. I would do coconut oil on her bottom. And every time she went, whether I bathed her or whether I washed her or just wiped her, I always put coconut oil, almost like to remove any excess that I missed. Right. That helps a lot because coconut oil, I mean, just look up the benefits that it has on the skin. It's antioxidants, soothes the skin. It's like a barrier for protection. It hydrates. It has so many good benefits that I think it really, really helped her bottom as well. I feel like I covered mostly everything that I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to really share with you guys these products because I feel like they're so important to have on hand, and I'm probably gonna order again and just have them in case. We ordered 4 bottles of this one and then one of the AF, and they weren't like crazy expensive either. This one cost me most. It was like $20. It's like only a small little 2-ounce bottle, but it was okay. I received this one first. The instructions are kind of like you use this one first for like 1 to 2 weeks, and then this one, and there's like one more which I'm probably gonna order just to have it also. Since I didn't have this one and it wasn't gonna arrive till Tuesday, I was gonna be able to get this one on Monday night. And I looked, the active ingredient is the same. Miconazole nitrate 2%. They both have the same active ingredient. So I figured, hey, I'll pay extra to get this one as long as it starts working. And then I'll go to that one. And then I'll go back to this one. And honestly, her bottom has been healing a lot. So please buy these products for your baby bum. Have them there because you just never know when you're going to get a nasty rash, or you just never know when something like this is going to happen to you.